And here we are with the wrap-up for day one, officially the day one. So we had the first keynote, of course. Lots of things happening today, lots of things happening this week. And I'm here with Rob Boyd to discuss that. Thanks for being here, Rob. And magically,
whoa, look at that, Steve's
Steve
here.
Moulter.
Yeah,
And of course,
have you got a few words left, didn't you?
I do. I have like four. I've got
four words. He's only got 4 words.
Sparingly, and I'm going to be very, very cautious.
Give me a hold that for you.
You know what?
Here.
Why don't you do that before I create
Let's do this. We'll get him all wired in.
That sounds like a plan.
You got Adam into the shot here too,
Yep.
because Adam's been running around in the back.
He needs more credit for all the hard work.
Now I'm official. I'll take that.
No,
Thank
Steve
you.
doesn't get any credit. Come on, man. We still have 2 more days to go.
No, full of energy.
So, let's talk about the highlights today.
Yeah.
What happened? Of course, we had the first keynote. We had a lot of innovation talks. We had tons of social media stuff going on. Steve, can you tell us, what were the highlights for you?
You know what, I think the great thing, and I've said this over and over and over again throughout the course of the day, the great thing to me about this particular event is getting everybody in the same room with one another, right? We can talk about the technology in a vacuum. We get an opportunity to interview people for video. We do demos, they run in the background, but everything is sort of isolated. Here we all come together and we talk to one another. So every time I'm standing back over here behind the desk, or I throw to one of you guys and it's out there in the field and we get to chat with each other, that to me is always the highlight, because the communication is how things actually get accomplished. That's what gets done. I mean, I can go down the list of things that I've heard said that I thought were gems, but when it comes right down to it, no, it's the fact to get to talk to everybody in person.
The human network.
The human network, baby.
Rob, what were your highlights?
I just have to mention, they had your lower third spelled wrong.
Did they
just
really?
A minute ago, they had you as Steve Mutler.
Mutler, excellent.
So let's just call that out. Let them know they can fix your lower third here shortly.
I'm on my way back there.
We'll get there.
I'm going to cause problems.
So the crew, just put them on notice.
You know what, seriously, at this particular time in the afternoon, when you
Mutler's
consider that
fine.
the crew has been here since very early in the morning and they've done everything right up until now, if Mutler is the worst we do, guys, I give you big props for that.
That's a true story. A lot of them didn't even leave till like 10 p.m. last night, so while we were off to La La Land.
I want them working hard. I'm tired though. No, today's been interesting because here's what I enjoy about this. You and I, from with what we get to do with tech, this is not TechWise TV, but it's a chance to talk in ways in which we don't normally get to. So yes, some of the topics are correct, but are matched for what we would normally do on the show, but then so many aren't. So like, for instance, one, I want to make sure that we put this out there. We got to go talk about the Rise Against Hunger.
Yep.
And so as we visited with the people there, and there's people in line, we've got specific goals to hit in that area, and we really do need everybody to make sure that they've made at least one pass through there. We've got a couple of days, we've got some simple enough goals to hit, we're just not there yet. And I think they would like to see more traffic in that area, so I just want to make that plea that we need to go through the booth. It's right, let's see. No, it's in the hub.
There.
Just to the right in the hub when you walk in.
Yep.
So, but beyond that, the other one I was going to mention is meeting with Hilton. Man, now
You're
it's the
going to
first
get his
thing
name
I know,
right
so.
one of
It's
these
because
times,
I'm sitting
Rob.
next to you, I have that effect on people.
I know, you're making
Hilton
me nervous.
Romansky, I believe, is who you're
Yes.
talking about.
That guy. So one of our VPs, I should mention. So what we're doing with Cisco Investments and then meeting, they've got an investments pavilion. So some of the companies that we've invested in, some are early, some are late stage, or not necessarily startups, but they're all unique ideas that represent places where Cisco's made a stake on where we think things are going, be it storage, sensors, those examples from today, but they have many others over there too, and those are fun. I wish we could get a TechWise series around some of these other, not fringe topics, but they're the next thing, and they're so different, and they're so aggressively interesting, I think.
want to be like the analyst on TechWise TV of all of the VC stuff that Hilton's doing.
Some contest or something, our own Shark Tank, so to speak.
Well, I love the fact that there are literally 50 people out there with the investments team that are scouring the world. What is the next big idea?
Cool?
It's not even a matter of just looking for, well, who do we want to bring into Cisco as a part of the family? Sometimes it's a matter of saying, you people are worth our time, you're worth our dedication, because what you are doing is you're developing what is the next. Is that going to connect to Cisco? Maybe, maybe not. Doesn't really matter, but these are people out there truly innovating for the future. They're going to change all of our lives. The 3 of us sitting here, all 12,000 people on the show floor and everybody tuning in, it's going to matter.
Well,
Speaking of lives changing, I mean, that's what the keynote was all about today, right? The future, what the future is going to be like. And of course, we all had the pleasure of being there, the opener for the keynote and all of that.
That was a fun morning.
That was really actually a fun morning.
That was
It
this
was.
morning, I believe. That was earlier today.
I believe so.
It feels like
It
it
feels
was
like a week
yesterday.
and a half ago. It completely does. I've had like 9 rounds of tapas since then, I think.
So what did you guys think of the entrance that they set up with everybody kind of coming through that center tunnel and then funneling out to the sides? Let's be honest, just among us and anyone who's watching.
And our 5 moms watching.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool in concept, right?
Yeah.
People got to walk
It
through
looked
and
cool.
be on stage, be on the keynote stage, and that was really neat. I thought it was really neat walking in. It may have been a little distracting at times when we were actually running things, but
Slow
I
down,
loved
stop
that
them.
distraction. One of my favorite things, every time I would turn back, so you guys would be talking to somebody, and the screen up in front of us would just go to a logo, right? And I'd be hanging out with Joe and with Santiago, and we're chatting, and you guys would throw it back to us, and we'd look up, and there was another mob of humanity waiting to come in the door.
They stage them
They
like bulls.
staged
Right?
them back. They held everybody back. But what was great is they entered in the light. Do you think about it? Normally, when we're up there, we're introducing, everybody's coming in the dark, and we say
Yeah.
they're flooding in from the outside.
You could
They're all
actually
in
see
darkness.
it.
We got to see who was coming in the door, and I think it really was a great key to that idea of this is about you. You are IT. The whole event is about the people who are here. It's not about us here at Cisco. It's about you. And I think that was a really good indication of what that means.
and I think it was a full house, in fact, too. I mean,
I think they had
were
to stop
worried about
people.
seats.
It
Yeah.
exceeded expectations.
Which I was worried at first because it seemed like
Yeah.
when we first started, I was like, oh, this isn't going to fill up because it was staggering in clumps. But then all of a sudden the gates opened.
Slow burn.
Yeah, it was a slow burn.
Is what
But
we
did
like
you
to call it.
see, and I don't know what movie reference I should make to this, but when they closed, there's a huge tall wall. What's that movie, The Maze? Did you ever see it was like a teen flick, so I probably shouldn't admit. I'm sure my kids are watching
We
it. I
got
was
teens
over their
at home,
shoulder.
we might as well, sure.
Okay. I think it's The Maze or something where they're all in this
Oh,
kept in
The
society.
Maze.
Was it called The Maze?
Yeah, or Maze
Weren't they
Runner.
all Mazer?
Maze Runner.
Maze Runner.
Yeah,
And they had the big, and then they're in this big enclosed area. It just reminded me of that because the wall, it looked like it's 200 feet up and it's slowly coming across, and I'm like, either we're getting sealed in or they're getting sealed out. I don't know if we're on the good side or not. I was saying we were.
Were you
Of
scared
course
that
we
we
are.
wouldn't be able to get out once all those people
Yeah,
were
you were
back
in
together?
here
We'd
until
be
we
stuck
finished
there?
talking.
No, because then, of course, right off the bat, we started with our broadcast here right at the top of the day. I mean, I think maybe we ran 5 minutes or so long with
Yep.
the keynote, and I tell you, since the moment that keynote came to a conclusion, we've been talking nonstop. There has been so much content throughout the day, and we always talk about when we're putting these shows together, right? How much are we actually going to be able to deliver? How much is going to go to videotape? How much is going to happen live?
Right.
The reality is we could do 3 times as much as we've already been doing, and we'd be able to fill that time. It's
Yeah.
really,
Yep.
really exciting. So
Do you remember the voice? I mean, let's just call it out. They had the voice coming out over while we were.
Oh,
each
the
one of us
timed
got hit by
PA.
that. I know you got hit once or twice. Did you get hit with the voiceover?
I think I did.
Person
Oh,
coming in?
you mean the lady announcement?
Yeah.
Oh, it was even better once Rowan got up on stage and she
Poor
joined
guy.
him on
And
stage for
David.
that.
Yeah.
From me, I didn't really care, but that
Yeah.
was a combination of both funny and horrifying. I don't
These
know
things
which one you
happen.
want to do.
I think it's fun.
Guys, we're going to hear some social media stats, I think, here from Gurdip.
You
welcome.
snuck in next to me,
You
didn't
did,
over
you
here?
did. That was some camera magic for those at home
thank
that
you.
didn't notice. But what do you have for us social media-wise?
Yeah, so we've got some stats for you in regards to the opening keynote, and we also have some really good stats on the live broadcast that we've been doing on Facebook as well. So if I can share those with you quickly, if that's
Great.
okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Super. So overall, we've reached about, for Monday, we have reached about 23 million people.
Wow.
That's just with the content that we've been
Spectacular.
posting.
Wait,
So
23 what?
Million.
Million.
With an M.
Yeah.
So I thought
that's-
1,000 I was going to be happy with.
So would I. So that's the rough number of people that have reached the content.
We've got a visitor.
And then we
Wildlife.
have also, the hashtag has been used over 2,000 times as well, so
that's
people are using
great.
hashtag Clear, so continue to use that. It's
Clear.
fantastic.
Clear. One more time. Let's all say it together. 1, 2,
Hashtag
3.
Clear.
C-L-E-U-R. Okay.
Perfect. Let me just get you some quick metrics on the opening keynote. The live stream itself, it reached just over 53,000 people, and we had 77,000 minutes watched.
Wow.
So that's total minutes watched by people. So that's
That wasn't
And
fantastic.
it's just
number.
the first day.
77,000 words.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then reactions, so people that are actually engaging with the content, obviously leaving us comments, but likes, shares. We've had 177, and it's also been shared to the Cisco page as well. So the more that our other Facebook pages can share it, the better.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
I think we actually have some images up here replying to at Cisco Live Europe, already at the airport for flying to Barcelona.
Be careful what you tweet. We might put it on the show.
Hashtag Chlor.
Yeah, keep it clean, people.
And of course from Elaine Lopez, or Lopes, I'm not sure. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but arrived in beautiful Barcelona.
It's a cool shot of Sagrada Familia there too, I like that.
Yep. This is a great one.
Oh, here we go. Heading out to Cisco Live Europe. I
brought the
distinctly heard the boys whisper, we can have just as much fun here as they can in Barcelona. I don't know if that's true or not. What do you guys think?
I think they could have more fun. Maybe they don't have to carry the
I appreciate the optimism at the very least, so, you know.
beginning of the week.
And some Instagram tweets Instagram grams going out, pictures, I guess.
Yeah,
It's great.
shots.
The badge.
Oh,
Perfect.
wow.
Yep.
Superheroes unite. I love
Pretty sure
it.
that's
the
photoshopped
theme.
in some fashion. Yeah. Oh, then maybe that. Oh, do we have a booth that's doing that? That's what's.
I know her.
Yeah,
She's my
Nicole.
fave.
Yep.
Nicole Major.
Nicole. I was saying
Yes.
Ingrid for some
We
reason.
were hanging with her in the lobby the other night.
She's in multiple places at once, from
She
what I
is
can tell.
everywhere.
More folks taking off. I love from all the different countries
Yeah.
heading this way.
We've had, I think the furthest that I've seen is somebody from Australia.
I was just
Wow.
about to
Into the-
ask
sorry.
who the distance winner was. That's perfect.
Definitely. Yeah, Australia, I'd say.
That'll do it. And of course, in front of the monuments here in Barcelona.
That's a great
Welcome,
photo.
Freddie.
Yep.
All right.
So what else? Any other social media? Oh, here we go.
That's our own crew. I recognize those crazy ladies.
I like the football stadium.
But again, obviously, you've got to visit the new camp in Barcelona.
Yeah, you gotta
So
head
you
over
can't
to
see
Barcelona.
Barcelona. So yeah, they take that
You
box.
can't see that far?
Yeah, not without the glasses.
See, I can see close.
Meanwhile, you're spectacular. And actually, Lauren, you're looking beautiful too. And
thank you, thank
we're
you.
good.
a little fuzzier. She's further away.
Thank you so much,
thanks
Greta.
for having me.
Appreciate the stats. Looking forward to even more going on, even more people watching, even more minutes viewed, right, guys?
Absolutely.
Shall we talk about the keynote a little bit more? Like, talk about the content of the keynote. Rowan talking about future. I know at one point he was talking about, let's say, the 2020s and how we're going to have the first autonomous driving taxi service, being able to text by thinking, smartphones becoming obsolete, of course. Rob, what do you think about those future
What always
predictions?
amazes me about this stuff is, it becomes important because we have to be developing now for where we think things are going. And when I think about some of those technologies, I was having discussions with friends, some of which are much smarter than me, and we're thinking about all the ramifications of, say, autonomous vehicles, because I think we've heard the stuff that gets talked about in the press about having to make decisions when a machine has to decide among kind of what do they call the Hobson's choice, when you have two opposing things, neither of which do you really want to take. So do I run over the one young person or the two old people, and those are your only options.
Right.
These are horrible things to have to consider, but when it comes to algorithms and how these decisions will be made, you've got to think about that. But then suddenly, everything on some bigger scale starts to shift from traffic to parking and the amount of space we allocate in a rural or an urban area to parking structures, to the fact that do I need to own a car if they could be much more efficient, because everybody in my neighborhood on certain days could be sharing one or two vehicles just because they're time shared in a much more efficient way. And so I do love about trying to think and then predict and then going, how do I take a step forward to say, this is where I need to be to leverage this stuff going forward? Because I respect people like Hilton and others on that team that are placing bets
Forward thinking.
because they're putting money on it.
Right.
And
hey, that's
I
put
just
your
wanted to
money
talk
where your
about
mouth
this.
is.
And
Steve, to wrap up, what do you think?
you know what, I was really struck by what Rowan was talking about at the very beginning of the talk, where he said the number of companies, I think he did 45% or something, I don't have the statistic in front of me, number of organizations that actually do not innovate at speed because they are too afraid or they are still completely siloed, right? And if we think about that in the grand scheme, think about 50% of the businesses in your neighborhood, 50% of the companies that you utilize on a daily basis, not taking those steps forward that they need to be taking because they simply don't know how to do it. They don't know how to stay safe in doing it, so they hold back innovation. Imagine where we're going to be 2 years, 3 years from now, the speed at which things are happening. That really struck me as such an important thing, because the change that's going to happen, it's happening right here on either side of us, over here on the hub and in the world of solutions.
Wow.
And I really kind of love that idea.
Yeah,
I was going to say that. I like that. Yeah, that's
We've
that's
spent
such a
too
good
much time together.
Such a good point, though. It's really what it's about.
Gurdeep, any closing thoughts from you?
That's what we're seeing from our community as well. Completely resonates with what we're hearing here. You know, the next 25 years, it's starting here on the right-hand side and on the left. It's starting to take place now at Cisco Live, definitely.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Make sure to watch CiscoLive.com tomorrow, or from any of the other places you can actually tune into the live broadcast. And we'll be back with a wrap-up again tomorrow as well. So thanks for watching.
Bye.
Hey guys, welcome to Cisco Live 2018 here in Europe from sunny Barcelona. We are the Cisco TV host for this week, bringing you all the action you care about. If you can't make it out, you're still going to get it. But if you're here, there's a lot of different ways to keep up.
Rob, so many different ways to stay connected to the show, whether you are here on site with us in Barcelona or you are watching remotely. One of the best ways to do it, down